This is a video. Subvert all your beautiful fantasies about the universe. Beyond our country's solar system, there are many second Earths that have been blown up to the sky. With this question, I decided to throw you over. Experience these habitable planets. I hope this journey, it can bring you a wonderful excitement. Science fiction brain hole. The first stop of your experience, Kepler 2b is just over 600 light years away. It is the second Earth that most people believe in. He has mountains and water in the habitable zone. You can say what you want. As long as you land, you are the king here. But Cape is 22 coins bigger than the Earth. So the attractive force here is much stronger. You might get tired walking on this planet. An attractive force will pull you down. Every step requires double the strength. The pressure on your muscles, almost twice as much as usual. After a few steps, you're out of breath. Legs ache from fatigue. Scientists have discovered there may be an oxygen-rich atmosphere here, but you are in this dense atmosphere. Maybe it's not a good thing. Under this tremendous pressure, oxygen becomes toxic with every breath. Excess oxygen can rush into your circulatory system. At first, you will feel dizzy and excited, but soon your vision starts to blur. The body starts to twitch. That's right, it's hyperoxia, acute itching poisoning. In just a few minutes, your heart starts beating like crazy, then abruptly stop. If you are an iron head, do not wear special airtight suits to adjust air pressure. Only stop here for a few minutes. The so-called perfect second Earth. I'm afraid it's not as safe as you think. So that's it. Perfect track and breathable air. There is no guarantee that it will be safe. Your next stop. The danger is not from air or attractive forces, but the sky is bigger than the moon. Big neighbor. This is one of the TRAPPIST galaxies. The planets here are very close. You look up on one of the planets. You can see other planets in the sky. It was like a scene out of a science fiction movie. 7 planets side by side. But in addition to looking good, there is a price to be paid for such a close distance, especially with the TRAPPISTs. In this galaxy, a planet the size of the Earth. Just as you are enjoying the magnificent astronomical wonders, it starts right under your feet. The attractive forces of nearby planets and powerful tidal forces. The Earth's crust is under constant tension, so tremors and earthquakes are routine. Under attractive force, the Earth itself is curved and shaded. A moment of peace may be instantly broken by sudden bumps, and the landscape starts to change before your eyes without warning. He cracked under the boulder. Rain that releases dust and gas into the air. Every tremor came with no warning. The low rumbling became a roar, scattering rocks like shrapnel. Destroy any shelter you tried to hide from. A moment later, a stellar blob explodes overhead. A dazzling wave of ultraviolet and X-ray radiation sweep the Earth, turn the horizon into a flaming glare. TRAPPIST ground around a very aggressive red dwarf. The star orbits this red dwarf with a powerful patch of medicine and violent stellar peaks, burning his planet. Other planets you can see in the sky. Remind you, the atmosphere here will eventually disappear completely. Anyone who has been exposed to radiation will quickly lose consciousness due to acute radiation sickness. Every time a star explodes, another part of the planet's air will be stripped away into space, and it was devastating. The following is a continuous There is relentless radiation above the broken even if the temperature on the planet, consistent with the temperature of liquid environment water, is far from friendly. If there is no special protective clothing and a sanctuary for both, any interstellar traveler can't take it. From this you come to the conclusion, on this seemingly perfect colonial planet, without comprehensive life support, living should be impossible. You experience pain, decided to find a planet free of earthquakes and medicine spots. Completely quiet teardrop planet. It's not necessarily safe. This hidden, invisible danger is everywhere. You're going to land on Kepler 186f. He is also commonly referred to as one of the most Earth-like exoplanets. It's almost the size of the Earth, and also in the habitable zones of the stars. The sun is soft here, smooth operation. When you stand on 186f, there was a calm familiarity. Normal attractive force. Warm light. Perhaps you are surrounded by an alien force. You feel like you can take off your heavy helmet and breathe, but that would be a fatal mistake. The exact composition of the air here is completely unknown. The atmosphere may be a threat to your lungs. Completely unfamiliar toxic mixture. The model shows that it may contain high concentrations of carbon dioxide or rare traces of sulfur compounds on Earth. Just take a breath. may carry gases that the human body cannot handle if life ever developed there. His buns or pollen. It may cause allergies to human physiology or toxic reaction. Even the chemical composition of rainwater can be different. Due to volcanic emissions or mineral vapor may be slightly acidic. Risk of skin or lung irritation. If not completely isolated, include seals and specialized life support. I'm afraid I won't even survive a few hours. Anyway, the environment will always find your radiation on the ground in traffic. It has been proven to be lethal. But at your next destination, it's the never-ending attack on Proxima b. It is also the closest exoplanet to Earth, around almost right next door to the star. In cosmological terms, this proximity made him very famous. If we do go on interstellar travel, then Proxima Centauri should be at the top of the list. But although he is very close, doesn't mean he's friendly to you. You stand under a dark red sky. The surface of Proxima Centauri may seem quiet and eerie if there is an atmosphere. Also very thin. You stand on a poor plane, under the cold light of a red dwarf, until the whole sky suddenly shines. This star emits a powerful solar patch. After a few minutes, a wave of radiation hits the planet. At first you feel nothing, because radiation is invisible, but the effect is lethal. The UV and X-ray energy in this patch dose hundreds of times beyond what humans can safely tolerate. If you are in an open area, you will turn directly into a wisp of blue smoke. Even anti-skin care can only be delayed for a while, but the ending will not change. And here's what's even worse. These spots are no accident. Proxima Centauri erupts in recurring stellar storms, may have stripped away the planet, most of the atmosphere, the thin air left behind. There's no protection against cosmic radiation. It's like Proxima's own sun. We are trying to ensure there won't be anything alive there. Even if it's a quiet day, radiation levels on this planet are also extremely high. Without top-of-the-line radiation protection, clothing, living cells and habitats don't survive for a few seconds. Ironically, research every day for a few years, the nearest that can fly in migratory planets. It's essentially a death trap. So that's it. Proximity and being in the habitable zone can only be a guarantee of livability. For example, some planets are indeed similar to Earth, but their size and age also makes him dangerous. Your next destination, Kepler, for 5 to be. He is often referred to as Big Cousin Earth. It's about 60% larger in diameter, a billion years older than the Earth. You might imagine him as a more mature Earth. It could be a paradise full of virgin forests, but being old has nothing to do with being safe. Embark on ARM for 152. You will immediately feel the difference. Attractive force is exerted on you with overwhelming force. Every gram of weight is a burden. Muscle pain under the extra weight. Even people who exercise every day will get tired quickly. A few days later, your body will start to break down from exhaustion. According to telescope observations, this thin exoplanet is located in the details remain unclear. Atmospheric models suggest elevated carbon dioxide may be higher than humans can handle. There are also gases such as sulfur dioxide or ammonia. The lungs. Education affected by volcanic activity may be around 5. Neutralization in the field is required to protect the skin on this big cousin planet of Earth. The true nature of its biosphere is completely unknown. Despite this, let's make a bold hypothesis. There is a biosphere. Current long-term chemical cycle models suggest plants may produce unfamiliar compounds, may be harmful when inhaled or ingested by humans. And microbial life, if it exists, may be toxic to human physiology. Side effects of metabolites. After thorough sampling and simple measures, before confirming these conditions, if you try to step out of this secret, sealed habitat will expose you to those unquantifiable risks. Despite being called the big cousin of the Earth, but he is destroying all visitors. Very efficient. So far, you have flown nearly 1,000 light years. When you wake up, the spacecraft has returned to the solar system. Now that you are back at the door, then your next stop. Nature is looking for opportunities in the solar system. From a scientific perspective, this may also be the most reliable option, such as Europa and Enceladus. Just two good choices. Both of these planetary moons are covered in ice. Beneath its crust is a global ocean. Where there is water, there is value in exploration. But the surfaces of Europa and Enceladus, the harsh environment is almost beyond your imagination. Landing on Europa is like visiting Antarctica an alien planet. Beautiful, but it's also deadly cold. It's about minus 160 degrees at centigrade. This temperature, exposed skin can freeze within seconds. And unprotected breath, it will crystallize in your lungs. And most importantly, radiation. Jupiter's magnetic field traps intense radiation belts. Keep bombarding the satellite. No strong shielding. You have less than a day. And receive a lethal dose of radiation. Earth around Saturn in 2. The situation is equally cold. But fortunately, Saturn's radiation just accumulates in the body over time. Equally dangerous. Surface low gravity and lack of atmosphere. It means there is no air here. Make you feel like a colonizer in space, floating in vacuum. The only way to survive on these satellites is to bring advanced survival pods. Heated base to be sealed. Walls should be kind, enough to block radiation. Essentially, is a safe place under the ice or inside the dome. Warm bubbles, outside such a sanctuary. Any expedition will have to wear a fully insulated spacesuit and life support systems. Otherwise, it will be frozen hard at low temperature penetrated by radiation. Europa and Enceladus suggest water alone is not enough to colonize there. It's an enormous infrastructure investment and ongoing life support. So here's the problem. Except for terrestrial planets and icy moons, are there any other types of habitable planets? There are super-Earths and ocean worlds. That's what it sounds like. But they are essential to human survival. Extreme test. Take super-Earths. A planet much larger than the Earth. The attractive force there is overwhelming. Every movement becomes exhausting. The atmosphere could be very dense. It's like standing at the bottom of the sea. Even though it contains some oxygen, air, it could also be mainly carbon dioxide or other gases. Without protective clothing, take a breath of this heaviness. Unfamiliar gas mixtures can be lethal. On a planet like this, you just step outside. You need a fully sealed protective suit. Otherwise, stress and toxic air can instantly crush you. Now, imagine a Hessian world or an ocean planet. A world completely surrounded by an endless ocean. No land to adjust the weather. The storm is now huge and raging. The air is heavy, full of moisture, and possibly deprived of oxygen. Even when surrounded by water, you will also be out of breath. Where to live on a planet like this? You might think of a boat or a floating city. It's constantly moving with the waves. And here's the thing, there's no floor. Means unable to grow food and build. This also means that all must be carried with you. So, whether it's a super-Earth with breathing air, or a sea world with relentless storms, all apply the same rules. You can't live in the open. To live on such a planet, it had to be entirely artificial. Imagine that. Exist dome cities with controlled climate on super-Earths. Or there are huge floating bases in the water world. We must generate and manage every air, food and water. The only way to call these places home is to dig up a piece of Earth and take it there. So you see, potentially livable is not meant to be habitable for humans. You can say that so far, there is no evidence to prove that other than the Earth, which planet is really habitable. You also saw this journey may have the right temperature or water, but still full of invisible poison, overwhelmingly attractive brutal weather or lethal radiation. This shows that these distant worlds, maybe it only fits the hypothetical protists there, but they are all completely lethal to humans. But will that stop us? Of course not. It was the dawn of the human spirit of exploration. We will not stop because of difficulties. We are natural explorers and builders. We will build domed cities in a sea of stars, underwater bases and floating homes, with wisdom and technology created on alien soil. Our own Earth bubble. This journey reminds us, every step outward is full of challenges, requires extreme care. But more importantly, it makes us understand, looking back at our own how precious is the beautiful blue home. And look up at the stars we will never extinguish. Dreams about the future. So after all this, are you still ready to live on another planet?